Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop version 1.84463.1133 Uh, look a little different. I probably because I don't have paper towels stuffed up my nose, and definitely got rid of all that flood nose. I don't know what was going on with that, but it was very odd. And um, by the way, I just want to let you guys know with Val Kilmer passing. Um, I've been doing this ever since I watched the movie Real Genius, God knows how long ago. But I have always, whoops, excuse me. Since I've watched that movie, I've always stored my glasses. If I'm wearing a T-shirt, not a jacket or a collared shirt, I've always stored my glasses like this. Hey, Liz. So one arm goes in, it goes in the back collar here, and folded down. And if you watch Real Genius, that's where he stores his glasses. And I've always done it like that because having them here in the front, while it's convenient, usually I'm doing something and they'll fall out. Back here, they're actually pretty safe. And also because I bonk into a lot of stuff, they're pretty safe in the back. So that's how I've always done it. Um, so I'll have that from Val for the rest of my life. So I appreciate that. Um, so the one tonight, I wanted to get back to you guys. The I did a ton of data logging the last few days, and talking with the other drivers and the other people that work on the car, the race car, the MR6. It's been extremely difficult, believe it or not, with admitting. Um, some people have a very difficult time admitting that they're wrong, and I'm guilty of this too. But it is a necessary thing in order to get past that so that you can get better. And lots of people have been wrong, and it's okay. Like I said, it's okay to be wrong as long as you learn from it, as long as you don't keep doing that thing wrong or incorrect or whatever. Um, you have tons of extremely famous people have made huge decisions that have been wrong. Take a look at Stephen Hawking with his black hole theory. I mean, that was worldwide and by some of the most brilliant minds on the planet, and he was wrong. So it does happen. I mean, and even in this stuff, I've read stories about Gale Banks, one of the best engine builders of our time, and he's admitted he's done stuff wrong, a bunch of times. But he's learned from it, and that's why he's today one of the best engine builders in the world. Most coveted. So you have to learn from that. Who else is here? Oh, hey, Diane. Um, yeah, you can say fall forward. That's a good way to put it. That's actually a really good way to put it. Um, you are falling down, but you're falling forward. You're not falling backwards. And if you fall backwards, then you have to repeat it and make those steps up again. So this one was extremely difficult. The other problem is you have the human factor, and the human factor is as much of a wild card as anything. When you're dealing with science and math, it's very straightforward. You have very specific numbers. You draw it out, or if it's something tangible, you can see it and hold it and squeeze it and do all that, and that's great. But when you deal with the human factor, it is such a wild card that you kind of never know what you're going to get. And I'm just going to admit that I was wrong. I thought I was doing everything right, but I botched one. You know, I've actually botched a couple now, and it's been expensive. They're expensive lessons to learn, not only in money but also in time and effort. The effort that you put into these relationships and the effort that you put into making all of this stuff happen. It is not easy. There's absolutely nothing easy about it. I've been lucky that I work with great people and they kick ass, but it has been difficult for me. It's been difficult for them, and we kind of come together to make all of this stuff happen. we don't anticipate on blowing up engines. It's not like we go out there and try to kill the car. It's one of those things that happens, but we have to take responsibility for our actions. We have to own up to it, and we have to, you know, uh, understand that we're accountable for what we do. And if I beer can the car, I'm accountable for that. I've ruined the other drivers' weekends because they don't get to race. You know, and being able to say that and tell the rest of the team, hey, you guys, I'm really sorry. I came into the turn too hot. Didn't get braking in time and went into the wall. If you can do that, that's a huge, huge step falling forward, like what Diane had said. So that's a very tough one. And when you have, uh, like I said, you have the human element where, you know, you you have people that can never ever be wrong, no matter what it was. There could be 10 cameras on them showing them hammering the nail into the board, and for it literally until their deathbed, they're going to say, "Never once did I hammer uh, a nail into a board. It was someone else's hammer. It was a totally different nail. I don't know whose board that is. The water was too wet. It will be everything except that's right. I hammered the nail into the board. It'll be everything except." So that's where the struggle comes in, is when it's easier for me to admit, hey, I screwed up. I didn't do this, or I did do that, and it was the wrong one. That's hard for me to do, but I've never ducked it. I've never tried to go around it, shift the blame, anything like that. I've done my research and I've owned up to it. If it's like readily apparent, I've always been like, that was me, you guys. I completely jacked that. I apologize. It's difficult to do at first, but you get good at it. You don't want to be good at it, but you do get good at it. So it becomes a lot easier for you, and then it becomes a lot easier for the people around you. And there's a mutual understanding with everyone that, hey, they admitted that they screwed up, and that makes it a lot easier to work with them. So that's one of those things. And it's been really hard the last week. I keep waiting for this, and I keep anticipating it's going to happen. It happens from other people, so I think the same thing is going to happen. But I think it's turning into psychosis because pretty sure it's never going to happen. I I think I have a better chance of seeing the Pope's nuts than this happening. So I have to move on, and then you have a second decision. You have to move on. You have to fix the problem, because this is obviously a problem. We don't want to do it again. We don't want to do it multiple times again. So we have to find a solution. And the solution is not as pretty as what everyone wants. There's no, you know, it's not strawberries and cream. It is not puppies and rainbows. It's usually something that's, going to upset someone. But you're left with no choice, because it's either very expensive or very time consuming, or both. And so that's where we're at. And so I had to make the call, and I'm head of this team, and I own the cars, so I have to make these executive decisions. I don't like them. There's no joy in it for me at all. I don't want to do that shit. You know what I want to bitch about? I want to bitch about how expensive 110 octane is. That's what I want to bitch about. And I want the other guys on the team and the other racers that I'm racing with to go, yeah, yeah, it's too expensive. It should be $1 a gallon. That's what I want. I don't want to have to make these, you know, ridiculously difficult decisions that, I'm no matter what I do, I'm the bad guy. So whether I stay completely quiet and don't do anything, we're going to blow up another engine. We're going to blow up another car. We're going to destroy something. And since I didn't correct the problem, I'm the bad guy. If I take care of the problem right now, I'm the bad guy. So there's no, I don't get to win in any of this. Um, but that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find a positive result from all of it, and it's very difficult. And you overthink things, and then you have to like pull yourself back and like, no, 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 it's not. That's not the way it is. Oh, and there's messages popping up here. Will Smith also followed that quote. Okay, cool. The hammer forgets, the board remembers. Yeah, that's true when you're talking about the hammer and nail thing. So it's a very difficult position to be put in, and it's one I'm not hot on being put in, but I do it, and I do it because I love racing. I love working with the guys that I work with. I love driving with the guys that I love driving with, and I love having rookies on the team and getting people into racing and getting people into wheel to wheel racing. Now, Lemons is not NASCAR. Lemons is not F1, but all of the basic criteria are still there. And you are wheel to wheel racing, you know, you're trying to get as many laps in as possible. That's how it works. So to have rookies in there and to have experienced drivers and have them interact, I love that. Absolutely love it. And our rookie driver, this one, after watching the video and stuff, the rookie driver, yes. Did he make mistakes? Yep, 2 big ones. Guess what? He came in, first thing was, "I'm sorry, you guys. I thought I had it. I didn't have it. I'm not gonna do it again." And that was it. That was the end of it because I knew that he was sincere about it and said, "That's the end of it." And that was the truth. I watched the video. That was the end of it. Instead of trying to be Ayrton Senna, he actually went out and learned the track, cleaned up his lines, figured out his breaking points, memorized all the corner stations. That's what he used his session for. And that's the stuff I love to see. He's not out there trying to be, James Hunt or Nicky Lauda. He's out there learning, becoming better because for the next event, he wants to be even faster. He wants to be quicker, heavier on the brakes, all of that. And watching that rookie learn, I can't express the thrill that I get from that. That is better than any drug, anything. Just watching that guy or girl, whatever, but in particular, that guy go from terrified, because there's a lot of scary shit in Lemons. There's a lot of stuff it's going to blow up. You saw it on Friday at practice, and it was pouring smoke out of it. And you saw guys doing, you know, incredible repairs that you are sure are not going to last, but you're out there with these guys. So you're terrified. When is this thing going to blow up? When is that wheel going to come off? And, it's scary. It's scary as hell. But to watch the confidence get built and watch the skill improve almost, I mean, after the second black flag, it was almost immediate. It was a couple of laps of settling in, and then it was focusing on what he wants to do with that session because he didn't have a lot of session left. So it was cleaning up lines, getting breaking points, memorizing flag stations, all of the right things. That part I absolutely loved. It was so great to see that. Excuse me. He didn't say anything that he was doing that. I just noticed it. He didn't say he was going out to do that to try and, be a better driver, be a better racer. I just watched it happen. As I'm watching these videos, I'm seeing these things. He didn't say anything about it. He might not even have noticed. But I definitely noticed. I definitely noticed that stuff. So it is not, this isn't the fun part about racing. The fun part is when you're out there kicking ass and you're watching your guy or girl. Like I said, not sexist. We're trying to put an all-girl team together. All ladies, one car, all ladies crew in the same car. I mean, this would be really great. And trying to do all that. So you just want them to improve. You want to watch your friends out there, kicking ass. I know this is super sexy, right? I brought the cover down from Ohio. And I wanted to make sure there were no animals or anything in it. So I put the cover on the car. There's the occasional bug, but yeah. Yes, this is the factory cover that came with the car. It's actually very nice. No, the car is not clean, but it will be very clean. Um, so I think um, I think having that ability to say, "Hey, you guys, I screwed up. I'll do better next time," is a very positive character trait to have. And instead of just, you know, finding the plethora of other reasons, whether they're relative to the situation or not, just finding every reason except the actual one is it's disappointing, and it makes you, you know, it makes you not want to race with that person because you know that, you know, the next time something happens, it's going to be the same thing, and no matter what it is, you know. So, um, and I don't think it matters if you have, you know, if it's a factory program and you have, you know, 50 engines and 20 cars, you still don't want that. Um, I don't know what the word is. Uh, you still don't want that excuse train. That's what I call it. You know, all aboard the excuse train, right? You don't want that. So um, even with factory teams, it gets very expensive when you do that. So, oh, come back here. This cover's heavier than you think, and it's actually going to go on the car. So we'll just put it in the Miata for now. Um, so yeah, hopefully you guys don't have to, you know, deal with that sort of thing. But just it was one of those heads up things I wanted to let you know when it comes to racing and when it comes to dealing with the car stuff. It's all like I said, very simple. The numbers match up. The piston fits in the cylinder. Great. When you have the human portion, it's a total wild card, and you never know what you're going to get. You could get ultimate professional. You could get crying child. You could get bitchy McBitcherson. You could get, you know, system, you know, Mother Teresa. You never know what you're going to get. So what do we got? Got to wake up the beast. Yeah, it's actually this car's not going this weekend. We're taking the truck. A friend of mine in Tampa is moving. He upgraded his shop and he's moving to a bigger shop. So we're gonna take the truck and we're gonna help him move some lifts and a whole bunch of stuff from his shop. So that'll be a fun time this weekend. Mm. Yeah, I did have a very nice weekend, very nice relaxing weekend, except for going through that data and realizing what I had to do. That was the downside about the entire weekend. Otherwise, it was very nice and very relaxing. And I hate to say, I mean, you can see the garage doors are open here. The weather is absolutely beautiful. It's what does it say? It's 81 degrees outside, 77 degrees in the garage. So it's actually very nice out here. So that was it. It's not always, you know, I love showing you guys like as many aspects of the car stuff and the racing stuff as possible. I wish I could show this one like, you know, I wish you were there at the track with us when all this is happening, and then I, you know, have a camera over my shoulder while I'm doing this data logging and marking all these numbers down. And then if you read the text messages that I, you know, sent out to the drivers, if you could see all of that, it would show how difficult all of this is. But I don't want to show you guys that stuff, you know. I want you guys to enjoy what we do. I want you to join us, obviously. Uh, I had a couple of folks at Pit Race take me up on um, uh, the spectator pass offer, which is really cool. I'm very excited about that, and hopefully they come see us at other events. Although those are pretty heavy drives, um, and uh, as a surprise, not a surprise, but a tiny bit of good news. Another friend of mine in uh, in the Detroit area, we were talking about lemons and racing. He would like to join us and drive the MR6 at one of the races. So we might have a new driver. When I get more details and all that stuff, I'll let you guys know. I don't want to jinx it or, you know, try and call him up and like, hey man, you want to come on YouTube and tell everyone you're going to drive for us? We'll do that later. Um, very nice guy, hardcore motorsports guy, hardcore. He's been in the industry for almost 20 years, and he worked on the Viper GTSR, the ALMS program. Um, shit, almost 20 years now. I think pretty close to 20 years he's been in the racing world. I'm not sure about the auto industry altogether. I met him when he was, you know, with the ALMS team. So that would be really cool. That would be really fun. And he definitely doesn't want anything as hardcore as, you know, ALMS or IndyCar or anything like that. He's looking to have fun, and hopefully we can do that. Yeah, he really likes the car. He likes the build that we did on it, and you know, we'll get him some seat time, and he'll hopefully have a good time with it. So we got more messages popping up here. Um, it is from Liz, and it says, "Super nice weekend up here too." Oh yeah, it was. What was yesterday? Yesterday was IFO, and I saw on Facebook there was IFO and the Toy Barn event, and I saw a ton of pictures from both of those events, which is good. That's kind of a good spring opener for Ohio. I'm sure there were a ton of cars out, especially if you had nice weather. Um, I also saw that gnarly weather's coming this week, so everyone up there, literally from where is it? From Little Rock to Madison, Wisconsin, and from St. Louis to Pittsburgh. That whole square section right there. You guys, please be careful. Gnarly winds, hail. They're talking about EF2 tornadoes and stuff, so please be careful up there. I'm not going to tell you how beautiful and sunny and 90 degrees it is here. I won't. That's why we're doing this at night, so that you can't see how gorgeous it is. Um, but yeah, with regards to being wrong and you know, taking care of that, it's important, and it's a very good trait to have, not only with like ding dong stuff in racing, but also with the rest of your life. If you make a mistake at work, you know, it's easier to own up to it than it is to, you know, dodge around it, find 600 other excuses and reasons why it's not you. It is quicker, easier, and better for you to say, yes, I backed the forklift into the Pepsi machine. Sorry, I'll pay for it. It's way easier to do that than who put the Pepsi machine there? How come the forklift got left in reverse? You know, who left the keys in the forklift? Da, da, da. Forget all that shit. Just say, look, I'm sorry, I screwed up, and I'll take care of it as best I can. It's not hard. You you know, doing all that other shit is just making it harder, not only for you but for everyone else. So you know, everyone else sees that, and they're like, "Well, I don't want to be anywhere near that because I'm going to get blamed for something I didn't do. It's going to be put on me or put on someone else, one of my friends or whatever. I don't need any part of that." So that's why it's easier to just say, "Yeah, look, I I screwed up, and I've done it. I've done it a bunch of times I didn't want to, not only with racing but also in life, and uh, I've had some major screw ups. Um, but you know, you move forward, you accept it, you know, you own up to it, and with any good fortune, there's a positive outcome. Very rarely is it a negative outcome. So, unless you're dealing with like uranium 235 or something, there's usually a bad output. But you, you know, it's so much easier to own up to that stuff and get it done. So, if you are racing, and whether you're racing with a Lemons team or NASA or SCCA or whatever, and you make a mistake, just take it easy on yourself, take it easy on the crew and the team and the owners, everyone, just say, "Look, I screwed up." It's it's way easier than, you know, taking them on a hobbit-like quest around all the other reasons why it wasn't you. So, um, just do that. If you drove any of my cars, if you drove the Miata and put it in a guardrail, hey, I'm really sorry. I was dodging a squirrel and put it in the guardrail. Okay, I have kick-ass insurance on everything for reasons like that. So I it's easier for me to do that than, if someone's like, "Did you even put the lug nuts on? Do you know how the suspension works in this?" Shit like that doesn't make anything better. But if you own up to it and like, "Hey, I completely banged up your car," it's so much easier. So much easier. And I'll give a good example for that. And I don't want to out her, but it's a good example. So forgive me, Katie. Uh, Katie's car was in the shop, and she borrowed my Miata, and this was years ago, and there was a lady getting on an exit ramp and had the green arrow, but she stopped, and it was pouring rain, and the Miata's tires not that great in the rain, so she short stopped Katie at a green light, and Katie slid into the back of her. Now, as soon as all the police report and insurance information and all that stuff was done, I was the next call that Katie made. And she's like, "Hey, Kev, I'm really sorry. This lady short stopped me and I slid into the back of her. The Miata's jacked up." And I was like, "That's fine. Don't worry about it. Can you drive it?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'll bring her by the shop as soon as I'm done with work and take a look at it." And it was very minor, but she owned up to it right away. She didn't try to, take it to another shop and get it repaired and not tell me about it ever. Could have been very easy to do, right? But she seriously called me 10 minutes after the accident happened. So that's what I really appreciate. And then when she did come up to the shop with it, she helped me try and, get the box for the headlight fixed and make sure the headlight could go down and the headlight cover. She actually helped with it. She didn't just stare at me. So that's a bonus though. That's a total bonus. You rarely will you get that from someone. Uh, but yeah, those are the instances where you're like, okay, that's fine. Now, how do we solve the problem? We had a problem presented. How do we solve it? And uh, with her telling me right away, it made it a lot easier to solve it. So um, I guess that's one example with the cars that I can give. And it doesn't take much, but apparently for some people it takes a lot. So that's when it's unfortunate, and that's when you have to make shitty calls. So I had to make a very tough call, and I don't like it, but I did. I can't afford to not make the call. Oh, there's more messages here. Yeah, Katie is actually a very good person, and her driving skills over the last even 5 years, her driving skills have gone from okay to holy shit, nice. She's actually done a very good job of going to autocrosses. She was autocrossing the Miata. She was autocrossing her Civic. Um, she was doing track events. She went to Haggerty had a ultimate car drive around, and she jumped on it and went to Pittsburgh, and we had a great day in Pittsburgh. She was bummed at herself. She's like, "I should have gone harder." I'm like, "Yeah, you're already covered. Might as well." So her driving has definitely increased. Her driving ability has increased exponentially, even in just the last 5 years. So way smarter and much better driver. But aside from that, aside from her driving, she's a good person at heart. So that really helps. Um, but yeah, there's. I was trying to think of another example. Um, when my son wrecked my Jeep, I got a phone call, but that was a little different. Um, yeah, I can't think of another example off the top of my head, but I know there's other stuff, and if you if you research it, you can find. stories from, you know, pick someone that you know admire, you know, whether it's a car builder, race car driver, whatever, and take a look at some of their stories. You know, uh, there will be something in there where they admit that they did something wrong and they had to go back and fix it or change something or whatever. But um, I remember the Gail Banks one because Gail, uh, when he was at Bonneville Salt Flats, he had talked about the Firebird and some things that were not working with getting that Trans Am up to 288, 277 miles an hour, whatever it was. And they had, you know, he's like, I didn't do this right, I didn't do this right, but you know, the next day we did this and it worked right. So it's easier for, you know, I think the rest of the team when you have the lead on the team saying, "Hey, I didn't do this right, but let's try this," and it works. I think that's a lot easier, and that inspires the team a lot more. So when he did stuff like that, I read stories like that, and I'm like, okay, that's why that's why he's a leader, and that's why he's one of the premier engine and diesel guys in the country, in the world, actually. So that's why when Gail talks, I listen. Yeah, that's usually a good time to close the mouth, open the ears. Yeah, you're gonna learn something. So you're gonna find that find someone that you look up to and do a little research, and you'll find out that they'll have something where they're like, I was wrong on this, but I made this change and it turned out for the better. You'll find it. What is it? Tim Farley, uh, CEO of Ford. Go look him up. Go look up. Um, uh, whoever you want. Go look up Carroll Shelby. Carroll Shelby's got 100 of them, you know, and it was easy for him to admit, yeah, I screwed up with this, or this was a bad deal, or we got this wrong, and we changed it, and then everything was better. Look at the Ford GT, awesome car, and he was like, we can't use this 289. It's not going to work. And they went to the 7 liter, and it worked like $1 million, right? Kicked ass. So, you can't use the 289 that he was using in his car. That's not going to work. How do we solve the problem? We get the 7 liter in the big block, and that solved the problem. So you'll find it in a lot of different places, but it's hard to do yourself. And so I just wanted to point that out and let you guys know, if you do race on a team and there's there's something that happens, don't be afraid. Um, 99% of the team captains and team owners are going to say they'll have contingencies for it, and they'll understand better than if you duck and weave and try and get out of it somehow, like how it was never your problem to begin with. And they appreciate that a lot more. I promise. I absolutely promise. So hopefully that's helped you guys a little tonight. I know it's not cool stuff. We're not putting a blower on the Viper or nitrous in the Miata. Come on, how much fun would nitrous be in the Miata? By the way, I have these. Where are they? I got these at the convenience store, and I'll throw this out to you guys. If you guys have an idea on what to do with these in the Miata, send it over. I'm curious. I have a couple of these. I would probably go get more, but since they're metal, they're going to work really well in an engine bay. And you guys know that I have this one. I've had this for years, and this is a huge hit. You take this to car events like Cars and Coffee and shit, and people freak out on it. They're like, "Oh my god, look at all the nitrous!" And it's actually just the bottles in a 2 liter bottle of Pepsi, 1/4 inch tubing. These are bottle caps that are painted black. Those are nitrous gauges from Autometer's website that I printed out and cut. And these are googly eye faces that I cut the backs off of. Look like little gauges. This is a toilet flapper from Walmart. That's it. Some hot glue. Put them all together. It actually looks very cool. I did another one with the skinny bottles, and there were like 9 of them. And then the tubes I did a weave for the 9 tubes. So there's only 3 that went in. it was pretty cool. I don't know where that one went. I think I gave it to a friend of mine, but these are fun, and I'm trying to think of something to do with those. Haven't really thought about like a final product or anything yet. So if you guys can think of something to do with those, I don't know yet. They're and this stuff actually, I tasted it again for the first time. It's actually not terrible. It's not awesome. It's not definitely not Rockstar, but it's okay. I'm trying to figure out what to do with these in the Miata because these are metal and this can be drilled. So I don't know if that can, get bolted to something and the line come out of this. I don't know. I haven't figured it out. So if you guys think of something that would be kind of funny or cool, I could leave it in the Miata. So uh, yeah, you're very correct. Shelby had a great mind, huge visions too, which was really great. When you have the foresight like that guy did, you're definitely going to be successful, and he was extremely successful on multiple levels, marketing and building cars and racing cars and running teams and all that stuff. So yeah, um, I got to figure out what to do with those nitrous things. If you guys think of something, let me know. I'm gonna keep messing with it with the Miata and see if I can figure something out. In the meantime, I hope everyone has an awesome week. Uh, I will be back in here. Like I said, I'm waiting for the limo to come down. My transport guy, Michael, is super cool, but his previous load got canceled that he was going to pick up here and take back. He was going to pick up a load in Tampa and take it back. So he doesn't want to take an empty trailer back. So the limo has to wait until he has a full trailer. That's fine. He's cutting me a great deal on the transport. So when he has, I think he's waiting on confirmation from the current load. That load gets confirmed, then he comes down and we'll have the limo down here. There will be tons and tons of live streams with the limo. So I'm kind of keeping the Viper sort of in good shape and the motorcycles and the Miata. Hopefully the limo gets here soon enough where we can really crack into that. And then the other thing for you guys, I will be doing live streams. And I'm still working on Tail of the Dragon logistics and getting the car up there and where I'm staying, Airbnb, and taking the Grom and all that stuff. So when I know that stuff, I'll let you guys know. And if I'm up there, I'll try to do lives. There's really sketchy service up there, really sketchy cell service, even in town. So I'll try and do live streams from there and see if we can talk to some of the other Viper folks. I know you guys would love to hear from some of the Calvo people. So if I can, I'll round up a couple of Calvo people and we'll do a quick Q&A. You guys can absolutely grill them on the Calvo stuff. They know it way better than I do. And so I'll try and grab a couple of those folks and we'll do a really nice Q&A session with them. So get your questions ready. Tail of the Dragon is at the end of May, so we've got a few weeks. So hopefully the limo is here, and then we just start packing in live streams. It'll be limo, Tail of the Dragon, the next race, and it just keeps going and going and going. So that's the plan, and I'll keep you guys updated. I'll do as many of these as I can. I don't want to, string stuff out and be like, "Hey, here's how to polish a headlight." You guys don't want to see that shit, but I'll do as much cool stuff as I can with the cars in between now and then, and with regards to racing and tools and whatever. So I'll try and keep you guys going and keep you guys informed. I appreciate everyone subscribing to the channel, everyone spreading the word and saying, "Hey, this crazy guy is doing cool stuff and he's not getting paid for it. You should go watch." Everyone who said that, I really appreciate it, and I love all the comments from you guys. The notes that I get, the messages that I get from YouTube are awesome. Uh, I haven't heard. I mean, I'm double crossing fingers. I haven't heard, "Hey, you suck" yet. I'm waiting on that one, and yeah. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying it, and that's really nice. Keep it up. Definitely hit the subscribe button and let folks know that we're still doing this. And I don't want to say this is downtime, but this is a little bit slower, and then we'll pick up huge. So this is kind of we'll call this a clutch kick, and then we're going to go full blast through the rest of the summer. So hopefully you guys are ready for it, and I appreciate you guys hanging out tonight, listening to my rant about the uh, moral struggles of running a racing team. I know nobody gives a shit, right? So, are you out there having fun? Are you out there kicking ass with your race car? Yes. Okay, stop bitching. I know. Don't mean for it to sound like a bitch fest. It just trying to inform you guys on when you work with a team, work with other people on the struggles that can happen. Hopefully, everything is you know rainbows and puppy dogs, but that's kind of a rare occasion. I think that only happens with AO Racing. those guys, those guys do an awesome job. They're fantastic. Whoever's running their social media, they need a raise. So send a message over to AO. Their their social media people need raises. They're kicking ass. Thanks everyone for hanging out tonight. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to show someone that you love them today. Give me a kiss on the cheek. Give me a kiss on the tip of their nose. Hold their hand. Give it a squeeze. It's really important for them, but it is far more important for you. All right. Thanks everyone. I will catch you. Let's see if we can do something tomorrow. We'll see if we can find something fun for those NOS bottles in the Miata. I'll look for messages from you guys. All right. Thanks everyone. We'll catch you later. Have a good night. Where do we put NOS in a Miata? That's a good question.